How can creators like us, who are new to building online businesses, who have high value skill sets, how do we scale our monthly recurring revenue, or MRR, to get us the freedom we desire? That is the question, and this newsletter will give you the answers. Be sure to subscribe if these are the types of answers you seek. My name is Boysie Gordon, and welcome to Boysie Talks Business. Episode 7. I went from $0 to $67,000 plus in MRR in 60 days. You wouldn't believe what actually works. A reflection on the 3 key ingredients that scaled my first business in 60 days. In today's episode, I want to break down the 3 key ingredients that scaled my first business from $0 to $65K, really $67K monthly recurring revenue in the first 60 days of business. But first, let's break down the numbers. It's pretty simple, pretty short, not too complicated. There's a screenshot in the article for people who are reading, or for people who'd like to see the actual numbers and the breakdowns of each individual item. But day 0 through 31 was $0, nothing. And then day 31 through 60 was $67,807.70. with a $37.75 profit or percent profit margin. That comes up to about $25,000 and some change. The first month, I made calls every day, but I didn't close a single account. And then I finally won the business, and I had only won 14 orders. Yes, exactly. You heard me. I made $67,000 plus in revenue, $25,000 plus in profit on only 14 orders. In this episode, I will share with you the 3 keys to my success. Key 1, I kept my head down. Key 2, I was fluent in my ICP's language. And key 3, I accidentally differentiated my business model. Those are the 3 keys. Let's dig in. Man, I wrote this like a tongue twister. This is crazy. Anyway, key number 1, keeping my head down. What do most people think when they hear this phrase? Avoidance of attention? Well, that is not what I mean. When I said keeping my head down, I meant like a bull in a china shop. I was relentless with my efforts, and I didn't bother looking up until I accomplished my goal. I was making call after call, striking out on pitch after pitch, receiving hell no after hell no. The good times. As you can see, in the breakdown, I made no money in month 1. But all that work that I did in month 1 appeared in month 2. That is something many people fail to see. There's a bit of a lag between action and result when it comes to new business, really in all business. So if you want to scale quickly, put your head down and grind it out for 90 days before looking up. Who knows? You might get lucky and see something sooner. I saw my results in 60 days. Key number 2, I speak ICP. For those who don't know, ICP means Ideal Customer Persona. It is a gold mine for all things sales related. It controls your profit, it controls your pitch, it controls your offer. From all my years in sales, I learned how to identify my target market, and this helped me scale quickly. So I knew exactly who my customers were at the time. I wanted freight forwarders that moved high volumes. You don't have to know any of that, but you do need to know these 3 things. I could easily reach DMs. There was opportunity. There was a lot of pain. Right? Those are kind of like the big 3 keys that you want to have when you're crafting your ideal customer persona. What good is a customer that's in pain, but there are not that many of them? Right? That's where opportunity comes in. What good is having a bunch of people who are in pain, but you can't identify them or pick them from the crowd? It's going to be a very complicated sales process. So you want to have all 3 things checked off. You want to make sure that your ICP is easily identifiable. You want to make sure that they're reachable. You want to make sure that there's enough pain. The more pain that someone's in, the more money they're willing to spend to make it go away. So I knew I had a quality ICP and a good enough offer. Now comes the part where being an introvert was actually helpful. So when you're crafting an ICP, you want to list out ages that you think they are, genders, role responsibilities, role titles, things that annoy them, things that make them happy, and really get into the mind of the person that you're trying to sell to. So this is going to be like your archetype, your default selling structure. Everything you create, from your content to your sales pitch, is going to be in line with speaking to this person. So when I'm speaking into the mic right now, I'm thinking about the type of customer that I want to have. What are they going to need to hear? What are they going to need to know? What types of things are they going to need for me to say? And, is my online personality something that would attract that type of customer? I don't really go that far into it. I mean, I'm not trying to change who I am, but definitely the type of content I'm producing is what I try to, at least adjust there. So these are the two things. I thought about what made them tick, and I thought about what could make them happy. Obviously, you're running a business. Your business is designed to solve a problem. If you can't solve a big enough problem, no one's going to pay the money that you would want to make. Then, once I figured out those two things, I began pitching in the language to reflect that. I got very detailed with it and invested. And that investment, helped me to sell myself without much effort. The offer that I created was tailored specifically to those types of people. But that's not all understanding my ICP did to my business. Key number 3. Oops, I differentiated my business. This probably led to my biggest mistake that I made as an entrepreneur. And I'll explain. So I hit a gold mine and didn't realize it until it was too late. In the first 2 months, I kept my head down. I grinded out as long as I could. Then I sought to better understand my ICP and began tailoring my business to them. Then something happened. It worked. I landed my first customer, and it was on a project, meaning the thing that most people take months to acquire from their customers is the thing that I acquired from my first customer within 30 days or 60 days, right? But it's not until now that I understand why it worked. And I believe that is kind of why it's my biggest mistake. See, this project was multifaceted. It required tons of moving parts and extreme coordination between multiple parties. We're talking people overseas and international, people inland, the end customer, the middleman, the person that's going to be transporting the stuff from the port to the customer's warehouse, the person that's going to be transporting from the customer's warehouse to the final destination in the stores. It was a very complicated project. And this complexity was the reason that I was able to charge so much for the services that were required of me. And my job was to make connections and save money on the back end when I'm hiring different, I guess you would probably call them freelancers, but truckers and warehouses to facilitate the moves. So I made $5,000 per order in revenue. My mistake was I didn't change my entire offer to win more of this type of business. I was just offering my services and said yes to whatever my client was asking for so I could win the business. I wasn't thinking about a longer term, positioning where I could be the go-to person for this type of complicated move. I made $5,000 off of this per order on 14 orders in my first 2 months. And the project would continue and I'd grow and I'd grow and I'd grow. But had I continued to push for this type of business, I would have gotten this type of business. And that was my fatal flaw. I continued to win similar projects, but not once did I stop and think about the possibility that I could have specialized in this type of work. Entrepreneurship is hard. Man, I really made this a tongue twister, didn't I? When you're in the thick of battle, it's hard to zoom out and see the entire picture. That was me. I was responsible for sales. I was responsible for accounting, hiring, order fulfillment, account management, and so much more. I was responsible for my entire business. So all I saw was cause, effect, revenue, and profit. Don't get me wrong, my business did really well the first year. Once again, we made $1.4 million in the first 8 months of business. In our full fiscal year, we made $2.5 million. But I can only imagine what it would have been like if I had someone keeping a bird's eye view on it for me. As a business owner, you're in the thick of it. It's really hard to zoom out when every day you're getting beat up with orders, beat up with customer service stuff, beat up with sales calls to make. You're not really thinking about, what more should I do for my business? That's why bigger CEOs essentially kind of keep their hands out of the pie so they can see the whole pie the whole time, whereas smaller business owners, you're kind of a underpaid employee. Sorry, you're an octopus. You're doing every single thing, moving all different types of ways. So these mistakes are what inspired me to help others with their businesses. I'm very good at identifying problems and bottlenecks, and that's kind of where I want to specialize there, is helping people create an efficient business where they don't have to work as hard to make the same amount of money. That is why for this month, I am helping one business owner scale their company. Thanks for reading. P.S. If you want to work with me, reply or comment scale, and I'll schedule a free strategy call with you. Thanks for stopping by. See you.